Simple machines. Before the invention of machines, daily life involved a lot of hard work. People did not have tools to make their tasks easier. Heavy loads were lifted by hand, grains were ground using stones, and shelters were built with great effort. Transportation was slow as goods were carried by hand or on animals. Farming was also difficult as people depended on simple handmade tools such as plows, sickles, and hoes for plowing the soil and harvesting their crops. Without tools like levers and pulleys, moving large stones or building structures required many people to work together. Travel and trade were limited because roads were rough and wheeled carts had not yet been developed. Later, the invention of simple machines like the wheel, lever, and pulley transformed human life. These tools reduced effort, made work easier, and improved transportation. People could travel more places and trade more widely. Machines. A machine is a tool or device that helps us do our work more easily, quickly, and with less effort. It saves our time and energy, making difficult tasks easier. Machines can be classified into two main types: simple machine and complex machine. A simple machine is a basic tool with few or no moving parts. For example, scissors, ramp, shovel, etc. Complex machine is made by combining two or more simple machines. For example, washing machine, scooter, crane, etc. Need of machines. We use machines when work becomes too difficult or tiring to do by hand. They help us in many ways and make our daily life easier and faster. They reduce physical effort, making work easier. For example, elevators save us from climbing multiple stairs, and scissors help cut paper, cloth, and other objects. They help lift heavy loads, which makes construction and transportation more efficient. For example, cranes are used in construction to lift large stones or bricks. They save time and work faster than humans. For example, mixers in the kitchen can mix ingredients much quicker than by hand. Simple machines and their types. Simple machines are tools, devices, or objects with few moving parts that make our work easier. They do this by reducing effort or changing the direction of force. People have been using simple machines for centuries. Early humans used simple machines to make their work easier. They used these tools to push, pull, lift, divide, and crush things. Simple machines helped them row rafts over water, build houses, split firewood, and carry heavy items from one place to another. These tools were very important in their daily life. Even today, simple machines are all around us and are used in our homes, schools, and workplaces to make many tasks easier. There are 6 different types of simple machines: lever, inclined plane, pulley, wheel and axle, screw, wedge. Let us understand the different types of simple machines in detail. Lever. A lever is a simple machine that consists of a rigid bar or rod that can move or turn around a fixed point on the bar. It helps us move or lift heavy loads by applying force at another point on the bar. It has 3 parts: fulcrum, F, the fixed point about which the lever rotates; effort, E, the force applied on the lever to move or lift the object; load, L, the object that is to be lifted or moved. Types of levers. Levers are classified into 3 types based on the position of the fulcrum, effort, and load. Types of lever. First class. Position of parts. Fulcrum is located between the load and the effort. Examples: seesaw, scissors, crowbar, pliers. Second class lever. Load is located between the fulcrum and the effort. Wheelbarrow, bottle opener, nut cracker. Third class. Effort is located between the fulcrum and the load. Fishing rod, stapler, tongs, tweezers, human arm. Lab corner. Aim: to understand the position of fulcrum in a seesaw. Materials required: a wooden plank or a long ruler, small block to act as a fulcrum, a book to act as load, a stone equal to the weight of book to act as effort, or a real seesaw in a playground. Procedure. Step 1. Place the block on a flat surface and balance the ruler or plank on top of it to make a simple seesaw. Step 2. Put the book on one end of the ruler and rock on the other end. Observe what happens. Step 3. Adjust the position of the objects or move the fulcrum to different positions and note the changes in balance. Observation. When the fulcrum is exactly in the middle, the seesaw balances if both weights are equal. When the fulcrum is closer to one side, the side becomes easier to lift and moves more. Conclusion. The position of the fulcrum affects how a seesaw works. Placing the fulcrum in the center balances equal weights, while moving it closer to one side makes the side rise or fall more easily. This shows that the fulcrum plays an important role in how levers work. Inclined plane. An inclined plane, also known as ramp, is a simple machine that has a sloping surface that helps move heavy objects to a higher or lower level with less efforts. Instead of lifting an object straight up, an inclined plane allows it to be pushed or rolled along the slope. The sloping surface supports part of object's weight, so less force is needed to pull it uphill. The effort required depends on the steepness of the slope. Inclined planes can have different slopes. A gradual slope requires less effort to move an object but covers a longer distance. For example, a sloping road or a wheelchair ramp. A steep slope requires more effort but covers a shorter distance, such as a steep hill or a steep driveway. Pulley. A pulley is made of a wheel with a grooved rim that rotates around a fixed central rod called an axle. A rope or cable passes through the groove of the wheel. When the rope is pulled, the pulley changes the direction of the force and helps lift or move heavy objects with less effort. Types of pulleys. Fixed pulley. The wheel is attached to a fixed point, such as ceiling or a pole. It changes only the direction of the force, but does not reduce the effort needed to lift an object. Examples: flag poles. A fixed pulley at the top of a flagpole allows a person to raise or lower a flag by pulling a rope. Well buckets. In traditional wells, a fixed pulley helps lift a bucket filled with water by changing the direction of the pulling force. Movable pulley. The wheel is not fixed and moves along with the load. It reduces the force needed to lift an object, making work easier. Examples: construction cranes. Cranes use movable pulleys to lift heavy materials with less effort. Lifts. Elevators. Elevators use movable pulleys to reduce the force required to lift people and goods. Wheel and axle. A wheel is a circular object that can rotate and help things move. It is one of the most important inventions in human history. In earlier times, the wheel was first used to move heavy objects and to make pottery. Later, it became an essential part of transportation. A wheel alone does not function as a machine. When it is joined with a rod called an axle, together they form a simple machine known as the wheel and axle. This simple machine allows smooth movement and reduces the effort needed to move or lift objects. Do you know, wheels are made of aluminium or steel alloys because these materials are strong, durable, and resistant to rust. Over time, the wheel and axle led to the invention of carts, mills, pulley systems, and many other tools. Today, it is used in vehicles, doorknobs, steering wheels, bicycles, water taps, and fans. Screw. A screw is an inclined plane wrapped around a cylinder. It has spiral ridges or grooves called threads that help hold or fix objects together or lift a load by spreading the force over a longer distance. Screw head has a cut in which a screwdriver fits easily. For example, the lid of a jar has threads that allow them to be tightened or loosened by twisting. Screws are commonly used to join parts of machines and structures, such as in revolving chairs, fans, and electronic devices. Nut and bolt. A nut is a small piece of metal with a hole in the middle and a bolt looks like a big screw. The nut fits on the bolt and together they hold different parts tightly in place. Unlike a screw, a nut cannot enter or fix itself into a material. It always needs a bolt to work with. When the nut is tightened on the bolt, they make the joint strong and safe. Nuts and bolts are used in machines, vehicles, furniture, and buildings. Wedge. A wedge is a simple machine with a triangular shape made of two inclined planes joined together face to form a sharp edge. It is used to cut, split, or push objects apart. When force is applied to the wide end of the wedge, it is directed toward the sharp edge. This makes cutting or splitting, pushing objects apart much easier. Wedges are found in many daily objects such as knives, axes, nails, chisels, zippers, and pencil sharpeners. Lab Corner. Aim. To understand how a wedge works. Materials required: knife, fruits, and ruler. Note: this activity must be performed under the supervision of a teacher. Procedure. Step 1. Press a knife on the fruit and observe what happens. Step 2. Now press a ruler on the fruit and observe the effect. Observation. The fruit is easily cut with the knife because its sharp edge requires less effort, while using a ruler takes more effort and does not cut effectively. Conclusion. A wedge has a sharp edge that helps cut objects with less effort, while a ruler is flat and requires more effort to cut. Complex machines. A complex machine is made up of two or more simple machines working together. These machines combine their functions to make work easier, faster, and more efficient. Unlike simple machines, which do one type of work, complex machines can perform more than one task at the same time. Examples of complex machines. Bicycle combines wheels and axles, levers, pedals, and pulleys, chain system. Scissors combines levers and wedges. Washing machine, wheels and axles, drum, pulleys and levers, buttons or knobs. Crane uses pulleys, levers, and sometimes wheels to lift heavy objects. Car combines wheels and axles, levers, gear shift, pulleys, and screws. Sewing machine uses wheels, axles, levers, and pulleys. Fishing rod with wheel uses levers, pulleys, and wheels, axles. Elevator uses pulleys, levers, and wheels or axles. Keywords. Simple machine, a tool that makes work easier. Lever, a bar that rotates around a fixed point. Inclined plane, a slanted surface that helps lift or move objects. Pulley, a grooved wheel with a rope running along the groove. Axle, a rod connected to the center of a wheel. Wedge, a sharp-edged tool used for cutting, splitting, or pushing objects apart. Let's recall. Simple machines. Simple machines and their types. Complex machines. Lever, inclined plane, pulley, wheel and axle, screw, wedge. Examples: bicycle, scissors, washing machine, crane, car, sewing machine, fishing rod with reel, elevator.